Hi everybody, this is Josh from Pomeroy Creative. I just like to share with you what I'm working on tonight and kind of go through this process with you so that you can just kind of see some of the typical things that I do, as well as some of the maybe not so typical things that I'm going to be doing for this project. What you see on the screen right here is just a photo that I took of my journal, which is actually sitting right here next to my laptop, as you see in the picture. And what I'm doing is I'm going to be doing a lot of designs for a church nursery. And so we're going to be creating sort of mascots for each age group, for each room. And the first one I'm starting with is a baby bird. And the sort of requirements from the client is that this is sort of a fluffy, round, very childlike baby bird for, I think it's 3 months to 2 years. And so we want to represent sort of that age range with this specific character. And so I get to the fun job of drawing, of doing some illustration, which I love to do, and character design as well. And so you see here, there's several different kind of ideas going on here, each with a different sort of age range in mind within that particular classroom. As well as different styles and different personalities, as you can see. So some of the intention was kind of to make this bird almost non-gender, so it could either be a boy or a girl. It's just that cute. You don't know which one it is, and as well, just to again, like I said, represent the age range well. So what I've done practically as far as the work is just sketch these out, and I've just sketched very loose sketches on this. I use marker paper, which is nice because I can even use Sharpies and it won't bleed through. So I suggest marker paper, and my lines I can get nice and dark on that kind of paper. And then like I said, I'm just taking a photo, and I'm actually going to copy this image. I'm going to go ahead and go right into Google Drawings for this because I'd also like this video to be part of my Google Drawings series, and just, again, using things that maybe people don't think about using web applications for, or what they might consider office applications, to be real creative applications. And as well, I have an idea in mind for a particular style of illustration that I think will work very well in Google Drawings. So I'm going to go over here into my client folder and create a new folder inside here. And actually, while I'm at it, I'm going to rename this folder because I'm going to have more than just the logo files in here. So there's Freedom Church, and then I'm going to create a new folder. This is the Nursery. Okay. And so inside this folder is going to hold a little bit more refined illustrations. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a new drawing. I just hit Shift D. Also, just wanted to show you, I also use Facebook heavily. I think it's actually a great tool. It can be a huge distraction for anybody, but I think particularly people who are trying to be creative, Facebook can be a huge time drain. But if you use it well, it can also be a great tool, and I think that you can actually avoid using costly, program management accounts, things that you have to pay for that are out there. Now, I do think that there's a lot of other benefits for using something like Basecamp or Trello or something else that you would have to pay for to manage your conversations in your project files and just kind of the back and forth with clients. There's some great stuff out there, and I've used a lot of it. But I think that for things like this, especially when I'm working with friends, it's a tool that they're already familiar with, and that alone actually saves me so much time, as well as it is a trackable conversation. So what I'm doing is using group messages to both share images like you see on the screen. I can see when they've seen it, and I can see that they have seen it, and that's really helpful for me. I can also get feedback really quickly because Facebook, you can have the Facebook app on your phone and have access not only to the conversation, but to the images as well. And for me, what I'm looking for is that feedback, that dialogue back and forth. And the quicker that I can get that and the less work it is for my client to provide that, the more likely it is that I'll actually get it and know where to go from there. So that's just a big sort of pro tip that I think a lot of people kind of put Facebook down for the things that it is, but don't recognize it for also what it can be. And so group messages, I think, are a great way to both, like I said, you can track your conversations. You can see when clients have seen your message or your image, your previews, iterations, changes, edits, all that kind of stuff. You can share files. I can upload a zip file and share this with the entire group. So it's actually a really powerful sort of project management conversation tool if you use it right. So I just wanted to show you that photo that I just showed you. I also sent to my one of my contacts for the client that I'm working with, and that's something that's very important for me, that I'm consistently prompt with communication. I would like to be accused of over communicating than accused of not communicating enough. That's where you have problems. So anyways, let's go back to what we're doing here. So I had copied the image just to my clipboard, pasted it right in here into a new Google drawing. I'm not too worried necessarily right now about the canvas size, etc., because what I'm intending to do is just some illustration. I'm not trying to lay anything out. This isn't for like a printable document necessarily. I just want to create something quickly, so I'm just going to leave it at the default document size. But I'm going to name this. This is the baby bird. I also have open here a Pinterest board that the client shared with me of some of the imagery that they like. So they went and looked at some of these things and pinned these things to a board, which is another really great tool is Pinterest. So I can see the style of things that they're looking at, and make sure that I'm creating something that their brains are already looking for. They're already anticipating. And I really like this style right here. Is a very flat, simplistic sort of vector illustration look, and I know that I can recreate that in Google Drawings. I also like this, and I could do the same thing. This is very sort of simplified, flat illustration, and I like that. So I think we're going to do something like this inside Google Drawings. I'm going to close some of these windows so I can free up some memory here. Okay, I'm going to keep Pinterest open, and I'll just close Facebook for now. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crop in this this photo a bit because I don't need all of that other stuff. Mostly it was just to show context of the process. Okay, so I'll just crop it there, enlarge it slightly, and then just start zooming in. And I really like this one, I think. This one and this one here that's almost just a circle. And so those are the ones that I'm going to spend the most time refining. Actually, even like the idea of them being kind of like paper cutouts. So I might even use the polyline tool like I use for the illustration or the portraits I do. Let's try it and see how it goes. So what I like to do is start with sort of the biggest, chunkiest shapes, and so in this case, I'm actually just outlining the whole body of the bird. Don't be afraid to zoom in. As you see, this this drawing, not only was the drawing itself small, but the photo that I took was from sort of far away to get the the notebook and the desk and some of those things in the picture. Uh, but one of the great things about vector is that it doesn't matter how zoomed in you are, it always looks nice and crisp. You see that? So that's working out so far. Let's just keep going. Right. Okay, so there's one little baby bird, and I could also maybe do something like this just for presentation's sake. Create a semi-transparent shape to use as a shadow, which, by the way, those last two characters in the in this color picker, custom color picker hex value here, this where the hashtag is, where it says FF usually, that's alpha. So the last two are alpha. I just changed that to around 30, 34, 35, and got some semi-transparency. Go like it, kind of like that. And I will group him together, him or her, who knows. So there's one, and just again, presentation's sake here, I will put this on a background. I'm just going to do kind of green for now, maybe even lighter. Okay, and I'm actually going to go ahead and make my canvas square so I can export this as a PNG. And now that's something I can send my client for sort of the next round of iterations and reviews and changes and updates and things that might need to be made. But you can see you got a really well polished, very stylized illustration done fairly quickly. And use Google Drawings. I could export this as PDF and bring this into something like Illustrator or any vector graphic application, and I've got all my curves editable, which is fantastic. So it's not like just creating some sort of, clip art that can never be used in anything else. When I download this as an SVG or PDF, I have curves that I can edit in an Adobe product or more industry standard kind of software. So don't feel like you are limited to or limited by using something like Google Drawings for vector graphics, because you can use this. You can send this to somebody, and it's not going to be useless to them. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll show you more to come. Bye for now.